yourself again. You just did it.
Okay.
All right. Okay. If not, just call me back. We'll work it through this phone.
Okay.
Okay, so now we're trying to actually get... Yes, sir. Let's do it. Good afternoon, everyone. This is Pastor Sanders, New Jerusalem Full Gospel Baptist Church. I'm super excited to be with you, whether it's on Facebook Live or YouTube Live, whatever streaming platform you're on right now. I've got Pastor Viotis Jones with me this afternoon. Listen, we're doing it a whole nother way. Bible study just went to a whole nother level. We're on a whole nother planet today. So get yourself ready. Call a friend, share this out, let someone know that we're on. We have some exciting guests that are on with us. We did a little sidestep to Bible study. We wanted to make a real application, something people could deal with on a real practical base today. I have a good friend of mine, attorney Brenda Williams, who resides here in Flint, Michigan, as well as Dr. Jenna out of Dallas, Texas, who's going to be sharing with us, a clinical psychologist, and she's going to be helping us through the stress of COVID-19. If you married by now, y'all don't like each other so good sometimes. You're in the house. You're in the house with each other for a month now. Yeah, baby, that's at a whole nother level. So we thought it would be necessary to take a moment and just laugh about some stuff, enjoy life. Take a moment, though it is very serious, the topics that we're going to discuss, but we want to make sure we're able to put some laughter, because the Bible says laughter does the heart good like medicine.
The heart do it good like a medicine.
There you go. See that?
Spirit is sorrow to the bone.
See, I know. I got a Bible with me. I don't. Most people got Google. I have Pastor Jones. I got a real Bible quoting machine here. So we're gonna be here. We're gonna hang out. So listen, if you're on Facebook Live, if you're on YouTube Live, would you do me a favor and share this out that we're on? Our Bible study tonight is beginning. We've begun. Pastor Jones is going to lead us in prayer, and then we're going to be ready to jump in with these very super excited and intelligent sisters that I have. God has permitted me to share and cross a path with to help our people. We are 40% right now of the death total in our country. 40%. We need somebody, we need a lot of us to cry out and spare not.
Yes.
And tell us how to get this thing right and what's going on. So we want to encourage you, please, if you don't have to be out, stay at home. Stay at home. And I know there's a lot going on, but listen, you can either, some people are just dying unnecessarily. So we want to encourage you to stay home. Pastor Jones, come on, open us up with prayer. We're also on our prayer line tonight also. So if you're on the prayer call, we've got probably 100 plus people on that line as well. So share it out. Let us know you hear us. Write your comments. Let us know where you're seeing us at on Facebook and YouTube. In the comment section, let us know where you're seeing and viewing the program for. Come on, Pastor, let's lead us in prayer.
Father God, we do thank you right now for your new mercy, amazing grace, God, that you bestowed upon us all day long. And God, we acknowledge right now that Jesus is the Christ, the Son of the living God. And God, you said that we acknowledge you, then you would direct our path. So God, we ask for your wisdom right now from above, Lord God. We ask, God, that you give us clarity of speech this evening, Lord God. And God, we ask right now, Lord God, that whatever good and glory come out of this session, God, we will praise you in advance for it right now. In Jesus Christ's name, amen. Thank God.
Amen. Thank God. Listen, so let's go right to work. I pray that you'll get a pencil, a pen, or whatever you like to take notes with. There are going to be some jewels and gems that these ladies are going to give to us this afternoon. And we're so excited. Once again, thank you, ladies, for taking the time out of your schedule to share with our community some very important information. So we're going to start, of course, with attorney Brenda Williams, who is not only a friend to me, has become a friend to me. She's also a resident of Flint, Michigan. She's been here. Her dad was a physician here, a very popular physician in the day of his living, and helped us get better health conditions. So good afternoon, Attorney Williams.
Good afternoon, Pastor. How are you?
I'm
Pastor
great.
Joe.
Good. Listen, thank you again for having the time out and having the heart to want to share with the people exactly what do we see going on when it concerns legal documentation when we're going, before we go into the hospital. We pray that you don't have to go.
Yes.
But in case you do have to go, you have to get some things prepared before you go. Let's talk about some of that, Attorney Williams, and what's necessary. What can we do to kind of prep ourselves for where we are right now?
Well, it's interesting because I became concerned about this through a member of New Jerusalem and someone I've known since she was, in fact, my daddy probably delivered her. And we remember Ann Harris and that family. It's part of the Ann Harris family.
Right.
Her mother was at the hospital, and they had found her in her apartment, and we were told she had had 2 strokes and a heart attack, and she had the virus. And they were getting information from the nurse, how you call, throughout the day.
Right.
And then they were told that your mom does not want to be put on a ventilator. And they didn't understand that because, one, they felt the mother was incompetent. She really didn't know what she was saying. She made, you can't see them, you can't visit them, no one's around. So they called me, and I've been knowing that family since I was 12 years old. And I knew their mother. And I knew that was not what the mother would say, knowing her as I have known her. And as I said, my dad was her doctor for 30, 40 years. So I knew their mother. So when I called, I couldn't get to the patient advocate because every hospital has patient advocates. They work with the patient.
Let me work on it.
And they're supposed to work with the family on what is happening with this particular patient, or what needs to be done, etc. But it appears that the patient advocate was making decisions for their mother.
Wow.
In my thinking and talking with another attorney, we were talking about this. I had to write a letter to them to put them on notice. One, to explain to them that this lady has 2 daughters, and any medical decisions to be made will be made by those daughters.
All right.
Second, that you don't tell them that she does not want a ventilator when she is incompetent to make those type of decisions.
Right.
So I did it, and it just so happened I knew the attorney for the hospital, so I sent him a copy to just put them on notice. So the next day, she went on the ventilator, and praise God, she's been recovering right now. In fact, she called her sister tonight to talk to her. So she's out of the intensive care unit, the CC unit, and she's in the recovery unit. So I said to Pastor Sanders, I said, and especially, particularly blacks tend to not think about this because some of them think they're giving up their rights, they're giving up their property. And I must even add to the side that a lot of times there has been abuse of power of attorneys.
Right.
Young kids have abused their parents, especially with this drug epidemic that has taken place. But I believe that this is a time that we need to look more at durable power of attorneys
Okay.
to take effect when a person becomes hospitalized and cannot make decisions to continue their business, paying their bills and assuring that their life just does not stop. So I'm going to encourage people. There are two types of powers of attorneys.
Okay.
There's the durable general power of attorney for finances and to take care of banking and other paperwork. And then there's the health power of attorney, whereby the person may express to you what type of decisions that they want you to make as a result of their health conditions. So those are the two types that I am encouraging people to think about, because I think that what's going on now is very important. For the next 2 to 3 years, I believe we're going to have this issue. But it's also important, not just with this virus situation. It's important in order to just protect your interests.
Okay,
and to
right.
protect that your properties will be maintained and it won't just be sitting there and dormant, or you forget to pay the taxes, or you forget to pay your insurance. So I think that that we should have a durable power of attorney. We should have a health care. I don't want people making decisions on your health without participation, either your family member or someone you have entrusted this decision or these decisions to be made by.
Now, Attorney Williams, I got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
Say I have siblings, and my mom says, well, listen, I want my oldest son and my oldest daughter to have this role. Is that possible to split it between the siblings like that?
Yeah, we call what you would call co-power of attorney.
Okay.
You jointly.
Okay.
Hopefully you have a good relationship.
Yeah.
And I would say this too. If your sister lives, say, in Louisiana,
Right.
and your mother lives in Michigan,
Right.
I don't encourage you to have someone to have the power of attorney in another state.
Right. So they need to be in
Right.
the same state.
Yes, I think you should, unless you just don't have, it's not possible. But
Okay.
you all can jointly be agents.
Okay.
You be co-agents
All right.
for the principal, which is your mother.
Okay. Good idea. Good thinking.
And also say that there are two of you. Alternatively, if I name you, I can alternatively name, say, Violas Jones. So if something happens to you, then Violas Jones can step in and continue the business of representing my interests.
Okay. But we're also recommending to everyone that's out there, listen, one of the things you could do, if you're in the Flint, Genesee County area, I strongly recommend that not only Attorney Williams, but they have a law firm there. Why don't you tell us your phone number where people can reach out and talk to you or talk to one of the persons in your office to kind of set up an appointment if they need to really take this to the next level?
Right.
Okay, it's 810-767-6655. But Pastor, what I wanted to do is that, and as you know, even though I think the pastor doctor has pushed me away as a member of NewJ. And I was there before him. But what I like to do, anything I do from this program will be for the members of New Jerusalem. And what I like to propose is that if a person comes and wants a power of attorney, but either if they want the durable general power of attorney for your finances,
Yes.
and are the power of attorney for your health care, it will be $50 a piece, but 50% of anything I make has to go back to New Jerusalem to the tribe You know, we got the tribe that we're supposed to be working on. And I can't think of the name of the tribe that you all put me under, but I'll like think of it, which in effect, the money is still going to New Jerusalem.
Yes,
We
yes,
just got
yeah.
to do a contest.
So for those that,
church.
okay, so those that don't know, if you're not from Flint and don't know, our church is right now in the midst of its 55th church anniversary. And so we divided our congregation up into the 12 tribes of Israel. Brenda has been assigned to one of the tribes, so one of their tasks is to raise funds for their tribe. So she decided before we came on air, Pastor, listen, my money going to my tribe, so we make sure we get all our representation in. So, but you can reach Miss Brenda. She's a great attorney. She was also in the prosecutor's office for a number of years. She was the first black female in that office and held that position for quite some time. Very respectable, very intelligent, just a great person to know. And if you're in Flint and you don't know Brenda Williams, I know something wrong with you because
I don't know.
Yeah, right, because Brenda know everybody in town. So we want you to reach out to her. And New Jerusalem, if you need to get in touch with her, you can also call the church's office, 787-8311, and they'll help connect you to Brenda and her secretary and everybody that's in her office. And so we're really thankful for Brenda and what she's got going on. Well, we got Miss Jenna here. Am I saying that right, Jenna? Okay.
Yeah, it's Jenna.
Okay, all right. Dr. Jenna with us, dealing here with us and hanging out. So we definitely don't want to leave her out there too long. I thank her for her attention and partnering with us. She is a mental health advocate. She has a degree in mental health, in case management, and helping people get back on and finding their right path to be on. She comes highly recommended. She's facilitated meetings, from what I understand, all over the world. And so when you can get someone as powerful as this young lady on a national platform to stop in and help us, I'm certainly glad to have you. I thank you for your time and your hospitality. Of course, she hails from Dallas, so Dallas, you know, I'm not a Cowboy fan. Let me just put that on the table. Okay, and so, but it's all good. I'm from Louisiana, so that has to make me a New Orleans guy. So that's how that rolls. But Greg, thank you again, Doc, and let's talk for a few minutes about mental health and what's going on.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. It's truly a pleasure because, as we know, mental health is spiking across the country. Yes. Especially in communities of color where, you know, we were already impacted by the mental health care system. And then now with this virus, it's like, it is just a compounded effect on an already inadequate mental health system. Yeah. So first, before I even just get into it, if you are experiencing suicidal thoughts, if you feel like you're going to hurt yourself, you're going to hurt somebody else, I need you right now to stop, and I need you to contact NAMI Michigan. And I'm going to give you the number because this is a mental health crisis organization. It's a mental health support, education, and advocacy organization in the state of Michigan that provides free resources to individuals and families. Yes. So I want you to call them now. So I'm going to give the number. If somebody can type that in on Facebook, if you're on YouTube Live, type it in. It's 517-485-4049. So I'm going to say it one more time. It's 517-485-4049. Because I don't want to dismiss the seriousness of this. Correct. So today's conversation is not for those that are severe, that need immediate interaction now. Like you need immediate intervention now by law enforcement, by healthcare. This is not the conversation for you. I need you to take action by calling that number. Yes. This conversation is for many of us, and I'm saying me too, because I walk this out with you every single day, that feel like we're about to lose our minds. Mm-hmm. We have been trapped in our houses. We got cabin fever. We are going head to head with our spouses, our children. They are blessings, but they starting to get on our nerves. We ready to get back and have real life conversations. We are eating up all the Oreos, the Cheetos. We drinking wine. Like, can we just have the real conversation? Like, this conversation is for you that feel like you are about to lose your mind. Yes. Because I think for many of us, this is like week 7 that we're in this quarantine space, that we're in the shelter and this safe at home shelter in place space. And week 6 across the country, there was a peak. There was a peak in kids spiraling out. There was a peak in parents and business owners. I mean, I think what happened, this almost, and I'm going to say honeymoon phase, so I'm going to use it very lightly. I think the first couple of weeks, it was this built up anxiety, almost like this adrenaline rush.
Right.
You know, you go into the stores, you know, you're stocking up, you're getting stuff from your office, you know, you're trying to get your business in order, you know, you're trying to get things set at home. So it's like the first 3 weeks, we're almost like in this anxiety, this panic driven, but we're also in this, like, let's take action. So we have this adrenaline rush. Weeks 4 and 5, it was like, okay, we're starting to settle into this routine. We are still not accepting that this is our reality in America, but we are dealing with it. Like, we're like, okay, we just gonna get through this. Week 6, everybody just threw up the towel. Like, okay, let us out. Let's fix this. Why is this taking so long? What's going on? So I am so grateful to be here, because the same things that I'm talking to you about, these are things that I live and walk every single day. Like, this is my life.
Right.
So it's not me coming from the textbook. It's not me coming from research. It's not me coming as a professional. I'm coming to you as a mom. I got 3 kids in the background that may knock on this door and beat it down at any given moment. We are juggling, we're managing. But what I am doing every single day is that I'm making my mental health a priority. And that's what I want to share with you today on how you can do that.
Okay, great. And let's talk about the priority of mental health for families. How do we manage and balance the kids, the husband or the wife, the bills are coming in, money is not coming in as normal as it was 7-8 weeks ago. So now we've got this another level of anxiety because the bills keep coming, but the money is not. How do we kind of ABC that? Is it an ABC process? What's your recommendation for those families?
I think number 1, to understand that this is normal. So we have to normalize it. And the reason why I say that is that it is perfectly 110% normal for you to feel how you feel.
Okay.
You can't look at someone else. I had a viewer that reached out to me through my Ask Dr. Jenna blog, and she said, I don't understand what's wrong with me. Like, I literally can't get anything done, but I see other people on social media, they are writing books, they are running and preparing for marathons, they're cooking these gourmet meals, and I'm having a hard time getting out of bed. So the first thing is that how you're feeling is how you feeling. You got to own that.
Right.
So it's normal. How you cope, how you grieve. We're like, this is a pandemic. This isn't summer break. This isn't holiday time. This isn't a vacation. Like, this is a pandemic. And when you are in communities where you're seeing people that are perfectly healthy and all of a sudden they become ill, they pass away like this, you see kids are out, you see, you know, you can't go to the store, you know, even just going through Chick-fil-A, you see people with masks on. Like, this is real. This is traumatizing.
Yes.
So I think the first thing is to realize that what you're feeling is perfectly normal. But just because it's normal does not mean that you have to stay there.
Okay. All right.
It's like, so just because it's normal, and we all give that, we still have a responsibility to where we have to shift and we have to make the best with what we have. So the way you do that, Pastor, because I know you asked what's kind of the 1, 2, 3, the ABC step. So it's a 3-step process. Number 1, it starts with thoughts. So it starts with your mind. As I ask little kids when I'm working with, I'm gonna give you the same formula I ask them. Or is what you thinking, is it helping you or is it hurting you? Like, is it helping you or is it hurting you? So if you're thinking, oh my gosh, these bills are coming, we're never gonna pay this, like we just gonna fall further and further behind in debt, like we're gonna lose our house, we're gonna lose our car, like my marriage about to be over, like, you know, like I can't take this, like, are those things actually helping you in that moment? And if they are not helping you, then this is an opportunity for you right now to take a step back and start to rewire your brain and start to think about things that will help you. So here's the thing. Many of us have not been taught how to really cope.
Right.
We really haven't even been taught with how to even shift our thinking. We don't even realize the power that we have the ability to choose and to change our perspective. So many times we think how we're thinking is, well, that's just how it is. Like, I can't change it, but you can. So the first thing is to ask is, are these thoughts helping me? Are they hurting me? If they are hurting you, you have to evict it.
Wow.
And the reason why I'm using the term evicted, because if you from any neighborhood, or if you have reference of any neighborhood, you know, when they serve that eviction notice, you don't have 3 or 4 weeks to get out. You got 72 hours to pack your stuff and you got to get out. Right. So that's the same thing you have to do to thoughts that are no longer serving you. They can no longer occupy your mental space if they are not helping you. So you have to serve this eviction notice, and you have to literally start training yourself on how to think differently. Now, we're not talking about this fluff stuff. We're not talking about, oh, if you're going to think positive, I'm going to think myself and lose 30 pounds. No, but what we are going to do is that we're going to start holding those thoughts captive, like the Bible tells us. Mm-hmm. We're going to start looking at those thoughts. Are they helping? Are they hurting? If they're hurting me, what can I replace that with? So I can replace that with is, thank God my family is safe at home instead of stuck at home. Thank God that I have some money coming in. I can't pay my bills, but I can keep this roof over our head. I can keep food on the table for my family. Thank God I have a family right now. We may be hitting heads, but thank God we're still here. Right. So it's the simple things that we gotta go back to. So the first one is thoughts. The second one is actions. So this is where we can't just think about it and be about it. Like, we gotta really put this to work. So that means that you gotta take action. And your action is different than my action. My action may be, for me, how a successful day, maybe I fed my 3 kids. That may be success for that day. It may not be, you know, I've written this book, I did this media thing, I've cooked this meal, I've washed the clothes, my house is clean. That may not be my reality. But it may be how I deem success right now is that my kids are healthy, my husband's happy, I'm still here. I'm not in a psych ward. You know, I'm drinking my water. I'm moisturizing my skin. Like, success is what you deem it is. It's not based on nobody else. It's not based on what the media tells you. It's not based on the lies that you see on social media. You see people pretending that homeschool is fun and, you know, the kids are all nicely dressed and meals and they got this and the people are tearing their heads off at home. Like, that's not reality. What's reality is the action that you're taking. And one action could be drinking 8 glasses of water. I tell my life coaching clients that if you can't do nothing else, I want you to drink 8 glasses of water every hour. Drink a glass. Because water, it gives you clarity. It detoxifies your mind and your body. And it gets you up because you have to go to the restroom. So it gets you kind of moving. And that will decrease the cortisol level, which is the stress. So T is thoughts. Second is A, actions. And then the next one is habits. You have to develop and implement habits that are going to propel you to where you want to go. So this is where you have to look at, okay, if we are in this safe at home space, if we're in this space for another 90 days, because we don't really know how long we're going to be in this space. Right. So if this is our reality for the next 90 days, who do I need to become? Number one. Mm-hmm. What does a good day in my space need to look like? And how do I want to feel each day? And then once you've kind of identified that, then you have to look at what are those habits? What are those things that you need to do every single day to help you get there? So for example, because I do have a history of depression, I have to work out. I don't work out to look different or to look better. I work out to feel better. So every single day I make it a priority after I study and read my Bible, I work out. Like, it's a non-negotiable. So it's 30 minutes a day of me moving my body because I know that's what I need to be healthy. And then, so once you change your thinking, your thoughts, once you have better actions, once you have habits, then that determines your outcomes. So it's Tahoe, T-A-H-O.
Wow, I like that.
So Tahoe, so your thoughts determine your actions influence your habits, and your habits produce your outcomes. So that's a simple framework that any of us can use to really shift our thinking and change our behavior.
Great. I really love that layout. Now, Doc, let me just talk for a moment, because, you know, people of color, don't particularly, quote unquote, we've not discussed mental health. How do we get us as people, not just mental health, even Brenda with the legal aspect? The only time we normally visit an attorney is when somebody in jail and we trying to figure out how much the bail gonna cost to get Baba out and what can she do to the judge to reduce the sentence. So we've got these two dynamics in our community that were already exacerbated already. Now we got Corona is on top of both legal and mental. Where do we go? How do we get us as a people to understand, one, it's okay to talk and to prepare, because preparedness just simply means it may not happen, but in case it does, I've got the paperwork for the hospital.
Exactly.
Or I've got I understand what it looks like to take action in my family. My baby is freaking out. The baby is he running around kicking a hole in the wall, and your stress level is through the roof. How do we, how do we talk down these scenarios that we're being given that's compounded? I mean, because we were already behind in the bills. We didn't pay last month's bills. And so, how it is. Most of us don't pay last month's. We pay last month this month. Now all of a sudden we got a stimulus. Oh my Lord, money from heaven. I can go to Walmart and buy a new TV. Now I got 9 of them in the house already, but I'm finna buy a junior one of his room in the basement. So now I got 10 of them. How do we help our people understand the seriousness of where we are in this day and in this hour?
I think the first thing is really helping people understand what mental health is.
Okay.
Because, and I used to teach this segment called Redefining Crazy.
Okay.
Because in our community, we think that mental health, mental illness means that you're crazy, and it's not.
Right.
We all have mental health. So I have a line here. Y'all pretend I have a line. Y'all can see this line.
Okay.
On this side is positive thinking.
Okay.
On this side is negative thinking.
Okay.
We all have positive thoughts. We all have negative thoughts.
Yeah.
What makes somebody mentally ill is when they stay in the negative frame too long.
Yes.
Yeah.
The goal in life is for us to be right here.
Okay.
To have this level of resiliency in the middle to where we have healthy mental habits, where we can manage stress, we can manage obstacles, we can deal with challenges, we can deal with those things. So I think the first thing is to educate our community that we all have mental health. So that's step one. The second thing is to really teach people how to cope and how to understand what it is and what it feels like. Because you'll hear people will say, well, I can't sleep at night. My nerves are bad. I'm about to have a nervous breakdown. I'm overeating. I'm irritable. I'm angry all the time. You'll see people self-medicating with drugs and alcohol. Hello, somebody.
Yeah.
And then we are coping with it with unhealthy things because we don't know that what we're dealing with is because we are not healthy mentally.
Okay.
Like all of those things that I just named, those are things that something is wrong. Now, it may not be to the level of you have to get a clinical diagnosis, but that's your wake-up call that something is wrong.
That's the red flag.
So now, once you identify that this is not normal, there's something wrong with me, then you got to take the steps to do it. Now, I can share with you, when I was 17 years old, I was severely depressed. My mom had died when I was 14. And I never really had time to cope and grieve. I went from living in a single parent home to now my entire life had been uprooted. So at 17, I found myself severely depressed. I was angry. I was frustrated. I was crying all the time. I couldn't focus. I felt like I was losing my mind. Here I was, 17-year-old girl, raised in the church. I go and talk to the church and they tell me, just pray about it and have faith. And then one lady in the church told me, she said, girl, people lose their mamas all the time and they get over it. Like, you just got to get over this thing and keep going. And then I felt like something was wrong with me because I couldn't get over it. I couldn't shake it. Like the more I prayed, the harder it came. The more I read my Bible, the worse I felt. Like I literally was trapped in this space of like I was losing my mind. So then I go and I talk to a doctor. And he said, well, I'm gonna give you this prescription and you'll be okay. Take it every day, but you'll be like this for the rest of your life because there's no cure. So so you just have to take this and you'll be like this.
Wow.
So I went back to the church because that's my foundation. That's my root. I'm a church girl. Daddy's a preacher. I'm married to one now. Like I went back home. I went back to the church and then they said, girl, you're Black. Black people don't get depression. And if you take that, it's going to be a gateway drug to other stuff. So don't take it. So now here I was at 17. I was so confused. I'm like, well, maybe the doctor didn't know I was Black because he sure didn't say that I had depression. So I was trapped in this space of what do you do when you have this community of people that you love and you trust, and the church is your foundation. The church actually is the #1 place that people of color go when they are seeking mental health services.
Yes,
they don't go to their doctor. They don't go to a counselor. Research has shown that they go to the church first. So if the church doesn't have the information, the knowledge, the education, the resources, then now we either make or break that person.
Right.
So I was caught in a crossroad of what do I do? The doctor said I have this, but maybe he don't know I'm Black. The church people say just pray about it and have faith. So what do I do? So I didn't take the medicine. And for 4 years, I literally spiraled out of control.
Wow.
And that's the reality of so many people today, because they don't know where to go and they don't realize that how they're feeling, they don't have to feel this way. They can create a new normal.
Right.
Like I think so many times in communities of color, we have accepted dysfunction. We have made dysfunction a part. Well, this is just how we are. This is how I am. This is like we've normalized that feeling, and we don't know that we don't have to be like that. Like we can literally create what we want in our mind first.
Yeah. I'm so glad we're having this conversation. Of course, if you're joining us or just joining us, this is the New Jerusalem Full Gospel Baptist Church Bible study class, but we sidestep Bible class to have a real Bible class about real life and try to get some real answers. Not saying that the Bible is not real, but we wanted real people that had gone through and God has allowed them to come over. So we're here with two professionals. I am not any way, shape, form, or fashion a clinical psychologist, nor am I the person you want to visit for legal help, because I'm not, I'm doctor was talking about stay in the middle. No, I'm a little off center, and I know I'm off center. So you don't want to. So we thank God at New Jerusalem we brought staff people on that we could recommend to people and say, listen, we need you to talk to these people. Because Pastor, I can pray with you. I'll do all that. But I got a legal person, Brenda Williams. So if she says, listen, you don't have a degree. We don't want to be sued. Get you some professional people that's got license. Prayer will fix anything, but a license can direct you in the right path. So if you're a clinical psychologist, we'll help you get to all the mental health physicians that you need, because in our community, we are spiraling out of control on so many different levels. I just tell people I'm real honest. I'm not. I know where I am. I'm not quite that center kind of guy. I got a little Peter still left in me. God's working on me. Something may come out every now and then. So I stay in my lane, Pastor John. I stay with the preacher. I stay at the pulpit where God can work on me. But if you're here right now and you're viewing us or listening to us via the phone, we encourage you that if you're having these moments of anxiety, they're coming faster than you can process them. Please, sir, please, ma'am, get some help. If you're needing legal advice, I want to recommend you, if you're in Genesee County, you're in Flint, Michigan, or if you're in the Michigan area, in the state of Michigan, please reach out to Attorney Brenda Williams. Miss Brenda, will you give us your phone number again? And then we're going to get the doctor's contact information also. Give us that contact information.
Yes, 810-767-6655. And if I may, my email, because Pastor, I've been working remotely since they said stay home, and I find I get more work done at home and I'm working longer hours at home. It's ATTY, B as in Brenda, R as in Ron, W as in Williams, 821 at gmail.com. And I just want to make a statement to the doctor that we do have one of the things that Judge Barkey, when she became judge, saw a need for a mental health court. So Genesee County has a mental health court here working with defendants, because sometimes their crime may be a crime under the statute, but there is a cause and the cause and effect of their actions. And so this mental health court makes sure that they are diagnosed, that they continue with their program, and most importantly, a lot of them do not get a criminal conviction.
Great.
Because it's an illness that they're looking at. And that's all part of the reason they're in the criminal justice system.
Yeah, and we want to keep
like drugs.
Yes, and we want to keep being a resource for people that's in our community. This is why we decided to kind of move Bible study over just a little bit to talk about some great things that are people that we can give access and resource information to. This is important. If we want a healthy Flint, if we want a healthy America, as people of color, we've got to stop dancing around legal problems and mental health issues. These are two of the biggest culprits that undergird our community, and it seems that we've got to first sound the alarm and stop making it, it's just how we are. No, it doesn't have to be how we are. We just need to talk about it, get a plan, take some action, and then when they come to the church, be ready to do what we need to do. And that's love. Right. Love them where they are. Get them where they need to be. Ensure that they're taking their medicine. Yes. At our church, we tell them, listen, you can pray and believe God. Take that medicine after you finish praying. Take your medicine. Because I can pray for you. But if the doctor says you need some medicine to help stabilize and get you through the day, well, stabilize, and I'm going to pray, and the prayer going to cover you and the medicine, and we're going to get through this thing. But I don't need you in there spazzing out. Right. I don't need you in there hurting someone or yourself. I just love you enough to tell you the truth, and I'm not going to cover it up with Jesus. We just need to deal with it where they are. Jesus, he always dealt with people where they were. With the woman with the issue of the blood or the man with the withered hand. He didn't say, oh, your mama had a problem. No, just give me your hand. Let's deal with you where you are. So I really appreciate you ladies taking out your time again for this moment. Surely we're going to have a little bit more time. We've got a few minutes. And let's just kind of keep talking about what's really, really important. And so, Brenda, let me go back to you for just a moment and once again talk about the legal ramifications before someone goes in or needs something, or we don't know what happens, but you need paperwork to make sure it's all right. We're just having a funeral next week of a young man. Thursday. Well, not him. Another young man next week. And the problem was there was nothing on paper. But he had said some things to people. But then the original folks show up, the parent or whomever shows up, who would have legal right to the individual. So I don't care what you done said. What the law says is what's going to rule. And so kind of talk to that. If you have someone, you've got someone that passed all of a sudden due to COVID, there's some discrepancies, there's some arguments about who has what right. What does the state of Michigan say about rights of someone that passed and what they've said before they passed?
Well, it has to be, everything legally has to be in writing.
Right.
And in that case, It's a will. Because you can tell me, I could tell you, and sometimes people don't want to respect the wishes of individuals, especially when you get into family dynamics, girlfriend, boyfriend dynamics. So you have to have it in writing. You have to have it in writing. And when you put something in writing like that, it should be notarized.
Yes.
It should be notarized, although we do accept two witnesses who are far removed from, say, that document. They're not in the will. They're not the agent in the power of attorney. But it has to be in writing. And a lot of times we as Blacks don't believe in estate planning. We don't do wills. A lot of times, for example, some people have special needs children. And I tell them, you need to do a trust. You need to do something, because if something happens to you and someone takes over the care, we want to make sure your child is going to be cared for.
Right.
And properly. And so, as the doctor was saying, in terms of looking at how people feel, when you did that line, I love that line, because I remember that my father used to say, we all got some schizophrenic in us.
Yes.
We all have some. And it's just how you deal with it. And what I like about Pastor Sanders, because we come from a long history at New Jerusalem, is that you take people as they are, and then you bring them in. Yeah. And that was what our history has been. And Pastor Sanders continues that legacy of our church. But what we have to do, we have to just keep educating, as the doctor said. We have to keep educating. For example, here, what did the governor say, Pastor, last week? She said, I want everyone to wear a face mask, when they go inside of a public building.
Correct.
And what do you see every day?
Yeah, you see,
especially in the Black community.
Right. We don't wear them.
We are seeing young people walking around, going into stores without a face mask.
Right.
And I remember when I first started practicing, young people then, when I would ask, well, why did you do this? What made you do this? Well, if they were going to shoot me, I was going to shoot them first. I don't care if I die. I mean, that same, and you have to look back in history, that same mentality of the 70s and 80s, you see it today. You see it today in our young kids. And a lot of them are walking around and they have no sense of thought, no sense of where they're going. But I believe that the church is the most valuable tool in the Black community. But we just got to learn how to reach them. We can't always say, let's pray.
Right.
Because they're over there.
Right.
We're over here. And as Reverend Floyd used to always say, I can't make them come over here until I go over there.
Right.
And I got to be able to communicate. And communication is two ways. It's not just communicate. You don't talk at people. We got to learn to talk to people.
Yeah.
And then we have to understand where they're standing. And I use a lot of those values every day in my legal decisions on how I'm navigating a case for a young person. Right. I have to know where they are. And now I know I got to get them over here. So how do I navigate them to a point that my first thing is I don't want to see them in prison for 15, 20 years.
Right.
They go to prison, they're not going to get services.
No.
But how can I do something to make them at least do something that take them away, give them an opportunity to see something different? Because I always tell people, even as lawyers, we're social workers, we're psychologists. I mean, because I'm dealing with the mama, the grandmama, the daddy. I'm dealing with a whole family unit when you're making decisions about their child. But I just think the church is still the strongest foundation. As you said, Doctor, I grew up in fact, I remember at 15, 16, I told my daddy, I said, ooh, when I turn 18, I'm never going to church again. I said, because I've been to church enough that I don't never have to go to church again. But because you grow up in Mississippi, that's all you knew on a Sunday. But I still tell people it was the church that taught me how to read. It was a church that taught me how to stand up and speak before people. The church was a strong foundation in my learning and in my decision making, how to think. And we got to we should never lose our history.
Right.
We can't lose our history.
That's so true. Dr. Jenna, listen, let's, we got a little time left. Like I said, Ms. Brenda, let me go back to you one more time. Give us that phone number for you, and then we're going to go right to Dr. Jenna right after you give the phone number.
Okay, the office number is 810-767-6655. But I also can say that you can call Jeannie or Diane at the church, and they know how to get me 24/7.
All right.
And I would like everything though to come through the church.
Okay.
And we can work it through the church. And as I indicated again, 50% of anything will go to the tribe. And I want you all to know now, you all know that $50 is not my standard price.
No, ma'am, it is not.
But that is something that I want to give just to get my people on the right track in this coronavirus situation.
All right. Thank you so much. Dr. Jenna, come on, let's talk a little bit more. Give us, you did give a Michigan number out, and I do hate that I didn't write it down, for persons that's needing immediately mental health services right now. They're at a crossroad. Life or death. Give us that number again.
It's 517-485-4049. And I will also put it into the chat that's on Facebook.
Oh, great. Thank you so much. We'll make sure.
517-485-4049.
Okay. So when we're talking to families, of course, a little more about NewJ is that we do actually have, as I forestated, we've been fortunate enough where we have some psychologists and people that specialize even in grief counseling in our ministry. Not every church is afforded that. I do understand that. But if you are a church, if you are a pastor, you don't have grief counselors and you're in Genesee County, you're in Flint. If you call our church, we will help partner or help find a resource to help you and your ministry. No pastor and no church should suffer in silence. We can pray all day, but listen, you need to talk to someone that is on a professional level, and it's not all the devil. We really need to recognize this for where it is. It's a chemical imbalance somewhere in the body or however that works out, and people just need to talk it through, but they need professionals to talk to. Because the worst thing we can do is become self-diagnostic. We can diagnose our own self. We can fix it with some Hennessy and Coke. It's not going to work. I'm telling you it's not going to work. You need someone to really talk to. So Dr. Jenna, help us with that, self-diagnosis. How deadly and how serious are some of us as
It is beyond dangerous because, number one, we are not clinical professions. You know, they look at everything. They look at history. They look at current situation. They look at your diet. They look at your lifestyle. I mean, they look at everything before they make a diagnosis. But there's also, you know, and this is where, you know, the advocacy part of me comes in. I also believe that we are our number one experts. Like, we know our bodies, we know our minds better than anybody else. And I say that because if you are feeling different, I'm gonna use your words. If you're feeling different, if you're feeling abnormal, if you feel like something's off, like you're just not right, then that means that you need to talk to somebody. This doesn't mean that you may have schizophrenia or schizoaffective or OCD. This just means that you are experiencing some things in your external environment that have made you feel a little bit off balance. And we all may get to that place. We all may have been at that place, and it's nothing wrong with that. The key is you don't want to start diagnosing yourself because we can all open the book And we can all go down a list and just check everything off, be like, man, that's me.
Right.
We don't want to do that. What we do want to do is recognize how we're feeling. If you start doing what I told you to do, look at your thoughts, develop different actions, start focusing on positive habits, things that's going to help. If you start doing that consistently for 14 days and your mood, your feeling, your body, if that does not shift, that means that you need to see a mental health professional. So 14 days, this is 14 days of going to bed on time, of getting 7 to 10 hours of sleep. This is drinking water. This is eating healthy. This is not loading up on sugar and carbs. This is moving your body, even if it's just walking, even if it's just you turn on YouTube, you turn on something on your phone and you just dance in your house. This is you praying. This is you sitting and just being still, quieting your mind for 30 seconds. Most of us can't even quiet our own thoughts for 30 seconds. So if you can do these things consistently for 14 days and you start to feel a little better, then keep going. If you do these for 14 days and nothing's changing, you still feel irritable, you still feel restless, you still feel frustrated, you're like something's just off, then you need to seek a mental health professional.
Okay, great. So let me ask you, Dr. Jenna, and I know you're being in Dallas, do you counsel? Well, I know you have a long list of things you actually do because you're an evangelist. You do missionary work. I love that missionary piece we was talking about last night. Yeah. But if someone wanted to reach out to you and just say, hey, look, this is what I'm experiencing. Can you just listen and tell me what direction you think I should go in? Is there a number for people to reach out to you and talk to you?
Absolutely. So the first place I would tell people to go is on social media. Follow me at Dr. Jenna, JINNEH, Dr. Jenna, last name Dyson, like the vacuum, DYSON. Because on social media, I do coaching all the time. I give free resources. I give free support. In May, I'm coaching hundreds of people, walking them through. May is Mental Health Awareness Month. So it's a month that I have been praying about, that the Lord has really put on my heart to really guide people through 31 days of shifting their mind. Okay. So it's free. There's no cost. So you can't say you don't have time, because everybody got time right now. We can't go nowhere. You can't say you don't have money, because it's free. Where I'm literally going to be showing up and coaching you and teaching you how to shift your thinking. Okay. Teaching you how to do this spiritually, teaching you how to do this practically. And the reason why I say spiritually, because there's nothing new under the sun. Right. The Bible has already outlined, Jesus has taught us this, Jesus has walked this out. So you got the spiritual side that I'm going to remind you of, but then I'm going to show you how does this look when you feel like all hell is breaking loose right now, today, in your house, in your home, when you got schools closed, daycare closed, you can't go to work, you don't have money, like you literally feel like you're about to lose your mind. I'm going to take a pause on it, and I'm going to ask you to pull me in. Because what I can tell you is that even in the midst of this, God is still incredibly good. Yes. And he has said over and over and over, and I believe, I'm not the pastor on here, but you can talk to the pastor. I believe it was in James where he said, we have to count it all joy. And even in these hard seasons, it's producing something great in us. Yes. It's building up our endurance. It's building up our perseverance. It's developing our character. So even in the midst of this, I know you're hurting. I know you're grieving. I know you feel like, you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know when life will return back to normal. But what I can tell you, if you would just take a step back, and if you would just keep your eyes and try to find one good thing out of this season, just focus on one good thing, you will see how the Lord is working. You will see how opportunities can come from this obstacle. You will see how marriages can be restored. You will see how homes can be healed. You will see how your mind can be maximized, and God can release this level of creativity and innovation in you. But you have to shift. And you can't look at CNN, you can't look at Fox, you can't look at MSNBC, right. You can't read the news, like you can't look at what the world is telling you. Like you gotta take a step back. And you got to say, okay, God, what is the lesson for me? Right. What's the opportunity for me in this? And when you start to shift like that, things will start to open up and you will start to change. Because what I can tell you, and this is what I walked a client through last night. I said, look, it's the 4C approach. You can't change what's happening. You didn't cause it. You can't cure it. And you can't control it. So in this season, you have to learn to control what you can control. You can't control what's going to be shown on TV. You can't control what you're going to experience at the grocery store. But what you can control is what you listen to every day. What you can control is what you read. What you can control is what you do with your idle time, because we know that an idle mind is the devil's playground. Like you can control that. You can control what you put in your mouth. You can control the thoughts that you're thinking. You can control the words that you're speaking. So in this season, if you don't do anything else, and if you don't remember nothing else I've said, none of the title, nothing, remember this: control what you can control. Anything else, you got to release it. You just got to focus, and you got to keep going.
Wow. Bless you so much. Ladies, it's been a pleasure to be with you both. You all have richly made my life better. And I don't feel so uncentered now, Dr. Jenna. I just want you to know that.
We all fluctuate.
There you go.
At any given moment, we can be over here. You said that you have a little bit of Peter. I always tell people, I said, I'm a mix. Like, I'm a mixed child. I'm mixed between Jesus and Peter. Most days I try to operate in Jesus' space, but if you catch me wrong, I may get Peter that day.
Yes. That's what I'm saying.
So, Pastor, I feel you. We the same on that.
There you go. That's what I'm. Miss Brenda, thank you so much for your time and your energy and your information. Thank you, ladies, both. You've been richly blessed us on tonight, being on Facebook, being on YouTube Live, and the prayer call. We've had a lot of difficulties on the call, but I think we hopefully worked it out. Thank you again so much. We'll talk real soon, hopefully in the month of May. I work hard with you and Dr. Jenna, because I do know that's Mental Health Month, so I do lots of stuff normal. But here being an unnormal year, we'll see what we're going to work on. And if you got some tips for that, we'll push what you're doing as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you, ladies, so much. Pastor Jones?
Thank you so much, Pastor, for having us.
Listen, guys, we didn't practice social distancing only because we need to be in the same camera shot. Right. So other than that, we would have been paying attention to the distance. Right. But he's covered, I'm covered, we're covered. We're on our way to help anyway. Amen. Thank you, ladies, so much. And we love you with the love of the Lord. And we'll see you next time. Well, y'all, listen, the clock on the wall say that's all, y'all. The only reason we're here because we've learned how to live, love, and serve. Until next Tuesday, we'll see you next week.